to episode 76 of Live with the Glitter Practitioner. That is me, Dr. Noopy. Thank you for joining me today. Do let me know in comments where you are tuning in from, because I love to go back and just chit chat. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a GP family physician in the UK. I am also a keynote speaker and transformation life coach, and I am passionate about showing and sharing with others, be it my patients, be it my clients, how to truly recognize their whole self-health needs, mind, body, and soul, how to keep them in alignment and how to bring them back into balance. And I share this via my F list, my holistic prescription for soul sparkling self-care. And it's something I learned for myself from burnout, which was 13 odd years ago. And I love my F list. I really do. Sometimes I forget how bloody good it is, actually. Anyway, I think the best way to show you how it really feels to come back to that balance, really understanding your needs, owning them, protecting them, and recognizing your worth is through my brand story, which was created by the insanely talented Devon James Stinson. And I think he has managed to capture not just the F list, it's just that feeling when you come back into recognition of self. Anyway, big bro and amazing producer, please may we have my brand story.
Follow the light through the storm. And this is not a light that warns, it's a light that forms on the pathway ahead. So you can maneuver around disaster instead of getting stopped by the obstacles. It just takes changing the obstacles. And then the impossible turns to possible. And then the storm lifts. You're no longer adrift. Breathe, focus, you've got this. Ahead you see a figure, a kind soul, and on the inside it feels like you might glow. Your endless cycles of cyclones have been turned to a breeze that just slightly blows. You're adorned with glitter, where you literally feel like a kid again. And this is when you realize how much of your life you've missed. And then you talk more with Dr. Noopy Aurora, who will holistically change your aura, where you and the new you won't be like strangers. No, you'll be like friends. Because this whole process is simply life-changing. So if you're feeling frazzled and you want to find your fizz and dazzle, then book a call with Dr. Noopy Aurora by messaging her right here on LinkedIn.
Oh, I love that. I say this every week. I'm so sorry. It's just so dreamy. Always suits me. Anyway, I think without further ado, I am bringing on a guest who has been on before, and we always have the bestest conversations. Lots of fun, but lots of serious stuff as well, and everything mixed in between. So without further ado, Dr. Terrence Johnson, come on down. I can't find my bells. There we go.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, welcome. Thank you for coming back. I didn't scare you off with the cray-cray.
No, look, we have a good time. We dance and laugh and do all kinds of stuff.
You set me off already, seriously, because I'm thinking, holy shit, I can't remember what I do remember what we talked about. Of course we did, but then we continued on in the green room and we just had the bestest chats, and it's just, Anyway, before I forget, may I wish you a very happy belated birthday.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, how have you been? How are you?
I'm good. I guess the best way
Like
I
it.
can say is I am ever evolving. I guess that's the way I want to put it.
I like that. Yes, I think yes, yes. Jesus. I mean, sorry, excuse me. Um, um, I feel more bad saying that than I do swearing the F words and stuff, but sorry. Um, yeah, there's been some crazy ups, downs, and
Hmm.
energetic influxes going on of late.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Equinox. No, no, not the equinox, the eclipse. That's what it was. It was three super moons.
Hmm.
There were three super moons and then the eclipse. And I just think, whoa. Anyway.
Yeah. It's a lot. I guess it's a lot in the. I guess toward the end of the year is always like that
Yeah.
preparation for the new year.
That's also true.
I think that's where I am. I think part of me wants to be on December 31st. It's like just get me to the end of the year, just close the year.
Oh,
But not just in a bad way, but I think it's just that anticipation for the new things to kind of sprout up. So you kind of that's what I feel that 2023 has been for me. It's been a lot of toiling in the field.
yeah.
And I'm kind of waiting for the harvest to come. Uh,
Yes.
and uh, and so I think it's just closing out one chapter, starting a new chapter. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah,
Like it.
yeah,
Like it. I guess it's releasing stuff that has worked for so long
uh-huh, yeah,
and it's recognizing, okay, that you've kind of passed your sell by date. Not you, not a
uh-huh,
person. I'm
uh-huh.
saying
No, I get it. I get it. Discount. I'm on discount. Yeah, discount.
mean that personally to
Oh,
anybody.
yeah.
But but it's creating that space to let new in and
Mhm,
allowing that growth and allowing that harvesting as well of okay, let's reap this in now and that. But you've got to keep doing that.
mhm,
Otherwise we'd be stagnant. And if we're stagnant, that's it.
mhm.
Then what?
Yeah,
Your soul will start crying out for you'll
right.
know. You'll know. Your mind, your body, your soul, it'll start talking to you big time.
Yeah.
But tell me, what would you like to discuss today? What should we chew over, do you think? I'm
Yeah.
feeling like a decent juicy chewing chewing. Let's chew on a topic. What would you like
Yeah.
to talk about?
So I think you kind of led into it. I like the way you said like kind of not just letting go, but kind of like closing that version of you. Um
Yeah.
so like for me, I've been real kind of like intentional about having a word, or if a word pops up for me in the morning, kind of let that be the kind of like the guide for me that day. And so
Hmm.
presence came to me the other day, and then it kind of tied to a conversation I had the other week with somebody, and we were talking about how we have been known for one thing for a while, and
Yeah.
it's like we don't feel like that's our thing anymore, but we still haven't moved fully into the new thing. So it's like, well, I can't go back to this old me, but then like who is the new version of me? And one thing that kind of linked those together was prisons. And so what I was talking about is when you have a certain role, you have a certain presence with it, or you think you have to have a presence with it. So like because you're in the medical field, you have a certain presence with it, as far as like the speech and the language and the posture and whatever else. And so it's like when you show up as that. And
Yes.
so for me, that was like showing up as a counselor, showing up as a professor, showing up as a church leader, showing up as like all these different things. But I never really showed up as Terrence. And so I think this year has been teaching me, well, who is Terrence outside of these roles, outside of these credentials, whatever. Who is he, and how can he be present?
Yeah.
And what's his presence? Because I think in the conversation I was having, I was like, for me, my presence had a lot to do with what I wore. So when I was teaching,
Interesting.
I was really into like I had my suit on. I was real professional, and it's like I'm showing up because I'm supposed to be this kind of figure.
Yep.
And then after that, I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want I don't I don't, I
Don't make me put my suit on, please. Sorry.
don't yeah, but the way I was talking about it, I was like, but
I
that
love it.
suit had been my armor for so long because it was
Yeah.
like when I had the suit, that was like the switch. It was almost like me going into the phone booth and like coming out of Superman.
Superman.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yes.
it's like, okay,
Yes.
I'm regular, and then I put a suit
Yeah.
on, and like, who I'm ready to
Yeah.
go. And
Yeah.
then when I'm done, I kind of switch back, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, I don't feel like now I have to wear something or be something to be me. And so now that's kind of like the unlearning these roles and these particular ways to show up and to show up as myself.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes with that Bruce Lee quote, like be like water. So it's like I'm able to kind of exist in different environments, not as a role, but just as me. And
Yeah.
so, depending on the situation, doesn't mean that I'm conforming to the situation. It's just I got all these other layers to me
Yeah.
that then can be present in these certain spaces.
Love it. Absolutely. Oh my God, yes. So many things were popping into my head as you were talking.
Mm,
And one of them was it's almost it's your identity, isn't it? It's what you identify yourself with.
mhm,
But then from what perspective are you viewing self
mhm,
in that moment in time?
mhm,
And it's I guess it's peeling back the layers,
mhm,
taking the mask off truly,
mhm,
and just being. And I know exactly what you mean. So say in a role as a healthcare
mhm,
professional,
mhm,
and do you know what? That's what I wanted to share with you. It was about 2 years ago now, and I remember when I was exiting from my partnership as a GP.
mhm,
I'm still a GP. What I meant as a GP partner, and I remember absolutely. I was heartbroken to leave a community that I absolutely loved serving, and I knew the worth that my work was giving and the value. That was a really, really hard decision for me, having been there for my whole. It's all I ever knew.
right.
But I think what was it was grief, not just for losing what I'd always known, but it was also who I thought that was my identity. That
Mhm,
Dr. Aurora, GP, clinical lead,
mhm,
that was that.
mhm,
And it was like, okay, if I'm not doing what I do, which I love doing there, and I know I'm a mum and I know I'm this and I know my worth, but where else do I go here? Well, what else is there? And I remember through having coaching, I had this, it might not sound like much to other people, but it was for me. And this epiphany almost that it was like, you know what? I am not defined by my stethoscope. And I think for so many years,
mhm,
having gone through burnout, having healed through that, having expanded my own awareness and really woken up to everything I know now, even then I can see the growth, I can see that development. But there's elements that I wasn't ready to let go of my stethoscope because a few years before I resigned and left the partnership, I'd been asked to do talks and this and that regarding my F list and sharing it wider. I wasn't ready because I was like, oh, who's going to listen to me? Oh no, it's no, I can't. And it's that definition that the stethoscope gives me that.
mhm,
And actually, you're not defined by that at all. That was huge for me in the years of that year of exiting. And actually I recognized, no, I bring the essence of who I am to my role as a GP, as a coach, as a friend, as a mum. It's the same. But then I guess 13, 14 years of a lot of work
Right.
of self-discovery and
Yeah.
crash, burn, rock bottom, to
Mhm.
really coming through and then maintaining and constantly learning. I don't need all that shit. I don't need that. It doesn't define who I am. I know who I am.
Right.
And I guess you think whenever you say that, oh my God, I shouldn't say it, because something else is going to bite me in the ass now and go, oh yeah, really? You know who you are? Uh-huh. Let's test you. No, I don't want to be tested. Please don't.
I know you told. I was like,
Do you know what I mean, though?
I'm like,
Please
oh,
don't.
well, you don't want to. Don't do
I
that.
don't. Please don't. No,
Uh,
no.
but I get
Yeah.
what you, I totally get
Yeah.
what you're saying, because
Yeah.
it's almost like these symbols of
Yes.
like our identity. And so you like,
Yeah.
for you, the stethoscope.
Yes.
For me, it was almost like, you know, being a therapist or whatever like that. We got a certain way of sitting and talking and our language and all that kind of stuff. And you can get trapped in that world
Mm.
and not see anything outside of it. And so for me, and I was just really reflecting on it earlier today about, what really like excites me or really like motivates me in this story. It's always been a story, and it's been
Yes.
like other people's stories, but
Yeah.
I've never really had that as my main objective or goal. It was always moving up in my career, it was always doing different things.
Yeah.
But my creative side has always been like the neglected part of me. And so like I would do
Mm.
spurts or whatever, but I never would say like I'm a creative, I'm a writer, I'm a this, I'm a that. I would kind of use these other standard things to then kind of like weave
Got
that.
it. Got it. Understood. I get it now.
Like,
And do you know the question? Sorry, the
uh-huh.
question that keeps literally screaming in my mind is, what's your story? Who are
Yeah,
you? What's your story? I want to know you,
yeah.
because I know you're doing a lot of work with, your ancestors and
Mhm,
tracing back and
mhm.
all of that. And actually, I'm thinking, I want to know your story.
Yeah. And for me, and I was thinking about that too. I was like, well, I haven't really told mine from a standpoint of like
Mm.
we all got these narratives like our career narrative,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
family narrative, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I never really have talked about like just me
Yeah.
and like my passions, my journey. Like I'm a real uh eclectic person. I guess that's the best way to put myself. So I like a lot of different things. I'm passionate
Yeah.
about a lot of different things, but I'm always like hesitant about sharing all that because it's like some of them can go left field. But I
Who
think
gives a shit? Who
yeah, I know.
cares?
Yeah, I know. But I think it's just because of the role that I was in.
It's conditioned. It's conditioned, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so
And
I'm
that's the
unlearning.
thing.
Yeah, I'm unlearning
Yes.
it. So for me,
Yes.
like I love music. We talked about that a little
Yeah,
bit.
we did briefly, but not for
Yeah,
long. And we were like,
yeah,
we started with music and then we said we'd have to revisit this. So yes,
yeah.
music's a huge thing for you.
Music
Yes.
is huge for me.
Yeah.
And I love it. I even played around with some stuff. I love to do like my own album sometime in the near future, just to do it and just to like play around with
Yeah.
it, with
Yeah.
songwriting stuff like that. Um, I haven't done spoken word, but I would love to do that. I
Oh
love.
my God, I can hear that already. I can
Yes,
hear that.
I've always
I'm
wanted to do
sure.
like an open mic and do it.
Yes.
And so I used to write poetry a whole lot. Um, I paint,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I paint and draw, even though I haven't done. I actually painted some stuff a couple of weeks ago, and it has been a long time since I did that. But like I do love film and filmmaking. Um, I'm real deep into that, and documentary has always been something I wanted to do. But let me see what else I like. I'm a big nature person. I want to do like a hike, like one of them real like Appalachian Trail, that kind of stuff. Backpacking. I want to do that. Um, I do want to experience the world, and I think that's what I want to do more of. And so
Yeah.
I'm finding ways to put myself in a situation to tell different stories, and I guess tell different stories about me
Yeah.
than the regular version of the one that I've done, because I've
Yeah.
been tied to me doing something and not experiencing something.
Yes.
And I think for me, travel is kind of my gateway to that experiences, but getting to know like real people. So I do enjoy being here in Gallatin because I've met so many people and we've had so many conversations, and the people I meet when I'm walking around town. Or because of my role, I
Yeah.
need to do that because I was the
Yeah.
fit, I was the helper. So like when people saw me,
Yeah.
like, oh, let me tell you what's going on. Oh, let me do this. And now when I talk to people now, it's like, hey, Tay, how you doing? Oh, let me. And so it's like we can share stories and not,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
I
know,
know exactly what you mean. I know
yeah,
exactly what you
yeah.
mean.
And so
Yes.
that's refreshing. Where it's like I can just I can be in an environment where being Terrence is enough
Yeah.
versus like trying to
Always.
roll. And so, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question. I probably got some other parts too, but I know I'm probably rambling through that.
No, you're not at all. No, not at all. It reminded me of. I remember. I think it was when the kiddies were younger, and I was in like this department store, nowhere near my practice area, and I'm dressed. It's what you see is, I'm covered in, not ridiculously covered in glitter, but normal stuff for
Yeah.
me. And I had this because it was nearly Christmas. So I was walking around this department. My children were like 5, I think. And I had like this Santa hat thing on. And I'm just happily, normally walking around. And I remember a patient came up. I always see people who I recognize faces, and as soon as they start talking, I know them from working, being as their doctor. And this chap came up to me and he was like, Dr. Aurora, can I just tell you about that? And I'm standing there, right, with my little ones going, Mama, I think that person knows you. And I'm like, no, they don't. And I've got like this Santa hat on. I'm like, looking undoctory as you're going to get. And I'm like, this is not appropriate. You can't. I'm just like literally. Yes, okay. I think you need to book in. Just give reception a call. Da 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 da. And I was just like, it was just bizarre. It just felt really strange, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like that's what you're known for, known as. And I'm like, do I really look like I'm on duty right now with this Santa hat on? Heavens.
I know. Look, I've been at cookout and eating a plate of barbecue, and people
It
asking me
was so
questions.
cute. It was so
But yeah,
cute, though.
so look, let me ask. So this going on. I got this. I got a
Yeah.
whole plate of food in front
Yeah.
of me. I just,
He's asking me these questions. The children are literally standing next to me, and he's going, do you know what, doctor? You said you do that, and you did it. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't got my computer in front of me. Okay. Literally. And I was very, I was like, no problem. Tell you what, I just had this hat on, and I'm like, nodding. All I remember was this bubble thing going
yeah,
like this, because
yeah.
the kids were cracking up, and they were like, Mama, your head just kept nodding, and I'm like, I know, darling. And I remember at one point just taking off, going into doctor mode,
Uh-huh.
and it was just, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
do I look anyway? Um, so what else? 24. Oh, I should have said that out loud. Uh, uh,
We did look. We saw it, but we did. We still talk. So yeah, I think for me,
presents, yes.
closing out the year, Is really being intentional about myself and what I need
Good for you.
for the next steps. And then what kind of feeds me. Because in one, and I think you said it earlier in the episode about, kind of that role being that thing, and then closing that chapter. But once you close, you got to have something else to feed the next version of you.
Yeah.
And so what used to feed me doesn't all the way now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But it is okay to just be. There doesn't have to be a need to fill space initially.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay also, because otherwise I think you can get caught in this cycle of, okay, so I know I'm done with this. I recognize that. It's what you said earlier, isn't it? Of you know you've let go of this and you're not ready to. I keep getting Interstellar in my head. Interstellar, okay, right.
I love it.
But it's like you've got to let go of the cargo almost, and then
Yep.
you're trying to dock, but
Yep.
you're not ready to dock because you haven't found your docking station yet. I'm going off on a tangent big time.
Oh, I get it.
But you're just like, it's
Yeah.
okay to free flow in space. It's
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah.
just don't do it for too long, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's allowing that breathing space. And I think you're so not you, but one is so conditioned to be go. I have to be achieving. I have to be doing. I've got to be doing. This is what represents my worth. No, it doesn't. It's you. It's the essence of you.
Yeah.
That's more precious than turning up as the counselor or turning up as the minister or turning up as this role. It's if your essence isn't, then you're not going to do any of all of that, no matter what you do. And it boils down to, what is your presence? What fuels who you truly are? That's what creates your presence, which then lends itself to the different roles one plays.
Yep.
That sounded really good then. I was on a roll with the Interstellar theme.
It was good. That was good. Look, that's good.
I think that was snorted. I think that was totally challenged because I'm like, oh my God, I can't remember what I said now. But yeah, no, it is that. It's being in tune with who you are without any pressure. Pressure to be, pressure to perform, all of those things. And that takes guts, it takes courage, it takes a lot of strength to kind of flick off everything you've learned that defines what this world knows as success, for example. It really does.
Yeah.
So good for you is what I would say.
I would say it's a journey, but I think it's the what I was thinking about earlier today. It's kind of like, you have a bird that's in a cage, and then when you release the bird, it kind of. But sometimes you can be like closed in for so long, you kind of forget that you can.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are in those situations where it's like, I used to be able to fly. How do I fly now?
Yeah.
And it's like you
that made me really sad then.
But it's like, but you
fly away.
But I think that we all get in those situations in life where it's like, I remember I used to be able to do this, but why can't I do it now? And it might be because you're gonna fly a different way this time.
Yeah. And you can leave the door open. You can always go back if you feel,
Yeah.
You don't have to close your back on it completely, but don't restrict yourself. Don't. We are going on the birds today. We are going on the flying today. Whereas previous conversations, we've been very in tune with the water and the waves and the water. Yeah. That's what I was just thinking. But you're right, and it's that freedom to expand and if you're feeling hemmed in, you're feeling as if you're caged and you want to, I'm looking like a bird and I really want to just go flying, then do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ignore that call, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's your freedom. That's your choice and that's your divine right. And it's finding that what really fulfills and sustains you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for this wonderfully enriching conversation. I feel like I've done most of I don't know where all this wisdom came from, actually. Well,
It was good. I was soaking it in. I was
I am too. I'm like, oh wow, that sounded really.
it was good. You was talking good. You had a lot of good
I
parts.
was watching your expressions, and I was just like, I think I'm making sense here. Yeah, okay. No, but it's like, wow. But
Yeah.
it is so true. But this is all what this is why we were talking ages ago. But that is what presence is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's when you're really discovering that.
Mm-hmm. I got a book suggestion too. If you haven't read it, it's a real short book, but it goes right for the birds. It's called Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Yes, I read that. I read that. I sound like
I don't want to know. I don't even know why I asked if you.
No, I sound like a friggin' seagull myself. Yes, oh God rest his soul. The schemotherapy is what I had up through burnout, and he recommended that book. Funny enough, and that was one of the books that he said, "Nupi, I think you'd love this." I've got it upstairs, actually. In fact, now that you've told me that, I've forgotten about it. I'm going to go and read it.
Oh yeah,
it's funny enough. Isn't that crazy that you said that book? And we've been talking about birds and flying and crazy.
It links all to that, and it's a really short, big read. I mean, you can probably read it in a day or two.
You easily. It's not. Yeah, it's not a big book, and also. How crazy is that, though, that we were talking about presence and then became full circle to that? Oh, I love it. And, because I guess from my perspective, this all started from that journey with not that book particularly, but that's a representation of a time when when I started to learn about this and discover it is what I'm reflecting back on. So thanks for that. Thank you for reminding me.
Look, thank you. I feel like I've been motivated and encouraged and a little bit today. So I was like, I don't know if I did what I was supposed to do today. But,
you don't need to do anything. We'll just have to have you back on again. We need to do something. I've got some ideas which I'll talk to you about. But what an interesting, juicy conversation is what I would say. Thanks.
That's what I do. I try to have steak conversations.
I love it. Yes, you can't beat a good steak. Yes. Now I'm getting hungry. Right. Okay. Thanks for keeping up with us. This conversation's just gone on tangents, but it's beautiful tangents as far as I'm concerned. Thank you so much for coming back on again.
Thank you.
Please will you come again?
Yes, I will come.
Yes. We'll have to think of another juicy topics and see where it leads us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and we'll try and schedule something. It's 20th of November. We've got time before Christmas. Maybe we can sneak in a sneaky episode just before Christmas or something.
Cool. That sounds.
I shall come and join you in the green room while I wrap up. So don't go anywhere while I wrap. Is what I mean.
All right.
See you soon. Thank you. Wow. Well, that was a very juicy conversation. That was brilliant. I thought it was anyway. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for joining us today. I think Terrence has so much. It's every single time we have these conversations, something else comes up and it's just fascinating. Anyway, just as a quick reminder, you can find me here every Monday at 8 o'clock GMT, which is 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can also get hold of me on, I forgot about my LinkedIn, not LinkedIn even. You can get hold of me on LinkedIn message. And if you can't get hold of me, just contact russhedge.com. He will get hold of me. And you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, all under The Glitter Practitioner. Have an amazing week. And oh my gosh, I think it's Thanksgiving, isn't it? Soon. Happy Thanksgiving. And I shall see you again next week for another episode of Live with the Glitter Practitioner. Bye.